Hello everybody, this is Code2J. Today I will show you how to create, insert, update, delete, and drop MySQL tables. Sounds exciting? Let's get started. As you can see, I have already connected to the MySQL server in a terminal. If you don't know how to set up and connect to MySQL, please check my previous videos. Let's use the command show databases to list all the available databases. We have 4 default databases. Let's create a database called sales by the command create database sales. Then we run the show databases command again. Our newly created database sales has been listed. In order to create a table in sales, let's select database sales using the command use sales and verify it by the command select database parentheses. From the output, we confirm that the currently selected database is sales. Now we can use the simple command show tables to list all the tables in database sales. Of course, it returns an empty set since we don't have any table. Let's assume that we need a table to save our products' IDs, names, prices, and stock levels. We can use the command create table product parentheses ID integer not null, comma, name varchar parentheses 50 not null, comma, price float, comma, stock integer. It basically tells MySQL to create a table named product with 4 columns named ID, name, price, and stock. For each column, we need to define its data type. ID and stock are type integers. The name is type varchar parentheses 50, which contains a maximum of 50 characters. Price is type float. You might have noticed that we have set columns ID and name to not null, which means those 2 columns cannot be null or empty values, while price and stock can be set to null or empty values. Execute it and run the command show tables again. Then we see the newly created table product has been listed. To get a summary of the table structure, we can use the command describe with table name, for example, product. It will show all fields, data types, nullable, etc. Now we have the table product. Let's insert some rows into the table. To do so, we just need to use the insert command. Insert into with the table name product and then values parentheses. Inside the parentheses, we give the value for each column. For example, ID equals 1. The name is red apple. The price was $2.99 and with 450 stock. Execute it. It shows one row affected. We can use the simple select command to show all rows in a table product. Now we can see we have inserted the product red apple successfully. Using this command, we can insert a single row at a time by replacing the value. We can also insert multiple rows at a time by adding more column values wrapped by the parentheses, then separating them by a comma. For example, insert 2 products, green apple and orange, in a single insert command like what I did. Run the select command again. We confirmed that we have 3 rows in our table product. What if we only want to insert value for some columns? Let's say we want to add more products with price, but we don't know the stock yet. In this case, we need to add the column names after the table name product wrapped in parentheses. Then we only provide values for those columns. Since column stock is nullable, the stock value will take null as default for those two rows. What if we insert columns of price and stock only? We can see an error message that the field ID doesn't have a default value, and it is designed so on purpose, because a product must have an ID and name. Keep in mind that all the not null columns here are ID and name need to have values, otherwise it will throw an error for the insert command. If we want to change values for the existing table rows, we can use the update command. Let's say we want to increase $1 to the price of all products. The command update followed by the table name product, then set price equals to price plus 1. The output says 5 rows were affected. When we listed all the rows in the table product, we can see every product price has been increased by $1. Can we update only specific rows? Yes. For example, we want to update the null stock rows to 0. We can use the command update product set stock equals to 0 where stock is null. Here, the command where stock is null makes sure the update command only applies to rows with null stock values. Check the select command. We confirm that only the stocks of Blueberry and Coca-Cola have been updated to 0. We notice that the product name Blueberry has a typo. Let's fix it with the command update product set name equals to Blueberry where ID equals to 4. We can also update multiple columns in a single command. For example, the command update product set price equals to 3.99, stock equals to 600, where name equals to orange changes the product orange's price and stock at the same time. Delete rows from the table is also very simple using the command delete from table name where condition. For example, the command delete from product where ID equals to 3 will delete product orange. Delete from product where stock equals to 0 will delete products Blueberry and Coca-Cola. Delete from product without the where condition will delete all rows. It can also be achieved by the command truncate followed by the table name product. Both of the commands only remove the data of the table. The table itself still exists as shown in the show tables command. To remove everything from a table, including the table itself, we need the command drop table followed by the table name, for example, product. Now, when we run the command show tables, the table product does not exist in our database cells anymore. That's it. You have learned how to create, insert, update, delete, and drop MySQL tables. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe and click the like button. Feel free to share what SQL topic you want me to cover in the comment section. I will talk to you in the next one. Bye bye.